Welcome, my friends. Welcome to Wednesday. We are almost done. Yay! Mercury retrograde 2021 is almost over, and that light is really kind of there we go. Not what I wanted. Better. So, hallelujah. Sunday, we are looking at it going direct. When I was looking at planning out my month, I really wanted the angel reading to kind of cusp this time to help us transition from the very harsh Mercury retrograde to a time of uncertainty. Because with the thinning of the veil, what happens? We become uncertain. We start to gain more insight. Our clairs are easier to connect in with, or they're picking up stuff where they may not have in the past. Well, that causes some fear, some instability. So that's what we're going to look at today. Very excited about it. Now, like always, and if you've been with me for a while, you know I've got kind of a rant on angel cards. I do enjoy the Angel Tarot. It's just called the Angel Tarot. Not the biggest fan of the aces through tens, but I do work really well with this deck. That said, it wouldn't matter. I could read off playing cards. I have. They're not as much fun. I won't lie. The pictures we connect in with more than, say, the 10 of hearts. So I've also got here, this is the Healing with the Angels Oracle. It was done by Diana Virtue, or not Diana, Doreen Virtue. Doreen is in a darker space now. If you have Doreen Virtue cards, they were made when she was in a better space, so they are perfectly fine to use. I don't recommend people buy new ones. Doreen is still getting the royalties, even though she is very against angels and working in the high vibration. She still remains and gains royalties. There are some decks that are you can get in different like buy and sells and different things like that, where you may get them on the second hand. Don't dissuade from getting them. And if you really need the deck, buy it. It's not going to hurt you in any way. You can always clear and charge it and work well with it. Then I also have, this is the Angel Inspiration Oracle. It's beautiful. Done by Kim Dreyer. Love it. Now, like always, I do have links below to all these decks. So if they speak to you or you want to go check them out, you have that ability. And that's important to me. All right, let's get into this because, well, Mercury retrograde, yeah, we are looking at it starting to minimize now, which is good. But some of us are really sensitive. We're starting to feel shifts. And some of that shifting is the thinning of the veil already. Around the middle of the month, we're already on the 13th. We have that veil starting to shift and minimize. So let's get into this. What messages do the angels and archangels have for my friends? I believe we're already on the 13th of October. And yes, when I picked my date for today, I went with the 13th because we have that goddess energy. Even though we're not on Friday the 13th, we do have that goddess energy anytime you're dealing with the number 13. Not surprising. Archangel Raphael. The healing archangel. He's the healer of healers. And he's not on screen. There we go. So most people have heard of Archangel Raphael. He's part of that little cluster that has been known for quite some time. The more healing we do, the less resistance and fear we're going to have, the less challenge we'll have as Mercury retrograde tails off. That sounds weird, but a lot of this is us getting in the way of ourselves. We're our own worst enemy, if you will. So the more healing, the more releasing we can do now and over the next month, the more we're going to be able to get the most out of this time. We're not going to have our ego take it over and resist the thinning of the veil with its constant what ifs. Oh my God, that's scary. With more of, I've got this. I have the skills, I have the abilities, I've done this before, and I can use my frontal cortex, and I know how to protect myself. So before I get going, everybody who was wanting, and I did say this on Friday, my live reading, I didn't know if I was going to bring out my Archangel Michael protection meditation on Tuesday. So yesterday you would have seen a different one. Now, they went out. It wasn't a big fight, I won't lie. They're just like, they need that, but it's going to be the following week. And I'm like, fair play. So next Tuesday, you will have that Archangel Michael meditation, and it's a protection meditation for channeling to the other side, channeling high vibrational beings and working with our abilities. Now, if you're new, welcome. And if you're confused at what I'm talking about, it's okay. I bring out meditations and tools to support you in overcoming challenges in what you're dealing with in your everyday. And I do that through 4 playlists. I have a mindfulness playlist and then 3 different meditation playlists. And one of them is Archangel. Well, it's called Healing with the Archangels. I will probably be changing the title of it because the one I'm bringing out next week, we're not really looking at healing. It's solely a protection meditation where we're looking at step by step walking through channeling that energy. So exciting. So the more we're able to heal and release now, the more you're going to get out of channeling or working with that, your abilities. So Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael are going to be big and really important for you. Oh yeah. And that courage, the courage to stand up to your ego and say, yeah, I know you think it's scary, and I know you think that we don't need it. I'm still going to do it. Think of it as your adolescence coming out, right? I'm going to go back, regress. I'm going to do this because I can. And I want to. I want to shift out and gain the knowledge, gain the skills, the abilities. I want to get a different perspective, a higher perspective. It does take some courage because most of us, I want to say 95% of us, random number that they just told me, shut down due to fear. Whether it be when we were children and we were afraid because of something that came in contact with us, we didn't know how to protect ourselves, we didn't know what to do. Or we were told if we didn't shut down, there would be ramifications. We would get into trouble. We would be put in the psych ward, what have you. And some people were just medicated. So we need that courage because there's a lot of fear and a lot of hurt and pain that is kind of wrapped up with these abilities. That's why Archangel Raphael is so important when it comes to working with connecting in better, releasing some of that fear so that we can do what we did as kids, what we've done in lifetimes past. Everybody has this ability. Not everybody uses it. Archangel Jophiel. Actually, when I'm thinking about it, when I used this deck last week. We had Archangel Jophel and these butterflies. I remember talking about that transition, that change. And I believe we had Archangel Raphael as well. So again, Archangel Jophel. She is the patron archangel to artists. And it's not so much that are we going to be doing lots of arts and crafts? Not really. I guess if that's something you like doing, sure. But moreover, Archangel Jophel has this amazing way of what I like to call feng shuiing our brain, causing that inner chatter to minimize, to release it a bit. I did a meditation with her back in 2020, and that's what we did. And then we helped you connect into that passion. That passion is going to fuel you. It's going to re-energize you. So are we going to be doing arts and crafts? Not unless that's what's going to refuel you. Creativity, no matter what that looks like for you, it's just how you express yourself. That's going to be an important part. It's going to make you feel stronger. It's going to make you feel fulfilled. It gives you something that you really like to do. Oh, yeah. Embrace change. That fear, it's going to get you nowhere. You're actually going to stick your head in the sand and miss so much. Like I said, Mercury retrograde is ending this weekend. That thinning of the veil, it started. You can start working on connecting in. Last October, I brought out a series of 3 meditations to help you to connect in with your high vibrational support team. I've got other meditations that help you to work on your intuition, work on your clairs, and Tuesday you will have a channeling meditation. The ones I brought out in October are considered a channeling meditation as well. I think one of them is called connecting. The second one is a continuation, and then it is a channeling. So you've got some supports there, some tools. Now, I do mention this on my Tuesday meditation with Archangel Michael. It matters who you're calling in, guys. Your ego will take advantage to some of your struggles. So, what I mean by this is that if you're trying to say channel Jesus, and I've had clients email me saying, I can't channel. I tried to channel Jesus and no one showed up. Of course not. He's busy. Ascended masters are not omnipresent. Angels are omnipresent. Omnipresence is that they can be with multiple people at the same time. So ascended masters, passed on loved one, high vibrational beings of many sorts. Some are high vibrational or omnipresent, but most are not. The god goddess realm, yes. Some of them, not all of them. It just depends on their degree of vibration. Archangels are the highest, but you get some pretty high god goddess status that will, right? I'm thinking like Zeus, because Zeus at one point in time was very, very powerful. And he does have that high vibration, or that really high vibration of like 90, I think it has to be above 90 something percent light. And even then he makes some pretty funky choices. So his omnipresenceness, I'm not entirely sure of. But some of the more well-known ones. Your passed on loved ones may not actually be able to come to you, depending on how long they've been passed on. So making choices and being, I guess, understanding and compassionate towards self, because what'll happen is if you're trying to say channel your grandma who passed on 2 weeks ago, she may not be ready. 2 months ago, 2 years ago. Time is irrelevant depending on what they need to work through. Then also, if the individual that you're trying to call in does not have something high vibrational to share with you, they may not be allowed in. So it just depends, because sometimes, as much as it's hard for us to understand, some of our passed on loved ones may be in a very harsh spot. They may be stuck somewhere. Can you help them move to the other side? I would call in support for that. But knowing that they may not have something high vibrational to share with you can be kind of a bit of a bear. So be mindful who you're calling in. And if they don't come in, then I always like to, if I know that it may not happen. So if, for example, I'm trying to channel someone's passed on loved one, I'll ask them to come in, or one of their guides or guardians who may be able to come in. So if you're trying to channel and work on your abilities, I really recommend starting with your guardian angels or angel and guides. They'll jump at the chance to help you. And then you can start to strengthen your skills, because it's a skill. We didn't get on a two-wheel bike and just pedal away going, oh, I have balance. Oh, I know how to do the up and down pedal motion. No, it took us time. Even if we take a break and have that barrier of fear, it's going to take some time to reconnect it. Gain some more insight and pull some more cards. What guidance, support, and wisdom do the angels have for my friends? October is one of my favorite times because I always get random things coming in that may not have the vibrational capacity to come in, or I haven't had I've been ignoring them and I've been too busy, and then they come in gangbusters. It's so much fun. I never know what to expect in October. Hmm. The Hermit, the ninth card in the Major Arcana. The Hermit reminds us that we do need to take time for us to work and strengthen our abilities. We can't expect to ride that bike right away. So taking that time, reflecting in. So working on their channeling abilities. And then do some reflection. What did you get? What didn't you get? What were you expecting? Because I can tell you those expectations minimize and limit what we can do. Because when it doesn't happen right away, that's when we get frustrated, that fear and anger comes in, and it shuts us right down. So looking at it and doing some reflection, that's going to help you really embrace that change and show that courage, because dude, it's not an easy thing to do, to reactivate those clairs. So, and not really reactivate, reconnect in with those clairs. Yes. The 10 of Cups. Reminding you, and a lot of us like to call on like a passed on loved one. Oh, can my grandma come? Can my great grandma come? Can my uncle come in? Well, they may, like I said, not have anything to share with you, or depending on how long they've been passed over, they may have already been incarnated. And depending on your comfort level and your connection level, you may not get that message. So there is a group that someone's usually around. I've never actually met somebody who didn't have an astral family member on the higher side. So your astral family are beings you're connected to, similar to that of your genetic connection to your physical family. This is an energetical link to, well, your astral family. And yes, they intertwine. So sometimes you get that passed on loved one that is in your astral family, But don't forget you have an astral family. Just call on them. My astral family. Can someone from the member, or can a member of my astral family come greet me? You may not know their name. You may not remember what they look like. But if you follow the meditation, you're going to have the protection you need and knowledge that they are there for your highest and greatest good. And they have stuff to share that is going to support you, not bring you down. Mm-hmm. Eight of Pentacles. So this has a couple different meanings. One, of course, we've got the pentacle. So when you look at that, that grounding energy is going to be really important. The more grounded we are, the more stable we're going to be to work with the high vibrational beings, to work with our skills, with our abilities, using the thinning of the veil to our advantage. The Eight of Pentacles in the original deck, Pamela Coleman Smith drew this man on a bench and he's banging on a pentacle, and you see all these other pentacles. He's been working hard. We need that dedication now. We need that really hawk eye attitude towards those finer details. Because there are messages already in our everyday. They're going to amplify. As the veil thins, like I said, information starts to come in more readily. So being present, being open, and being observant to what's occurring right around you will help you. It'll strengthen and reconfirm some of that knowledge that you're already holding on to. Because that's a clair in itself. Clear knowledge. And it's one hardly anybody's shut down because no one says, oh, stop thinking. If you don't stop thinking, you're going to get into trouble. Well, no. It's like, okay, if you don't stop seeing things, we need to have a chat. None of us heard, if you don't stop thinking. So we never shut that down. Nor did we have that fear. We never thought, oh, well, this is the solution or conclusion. Oh, that's scary. We may not have liked the solution or conclusion, but we did not have fear related to how we obtain that knowledge. So we never shut that clair down. So we sometimes need confirmation of the knowledge we're already holding. And that in itself is part of, that's our human getting in the way. But we're going to have that confirmation hidden in plain sight. Now, if you want some added clarification, a tool you can use, and it's one of the few I use, or I encourage people to use for their channeling abilities. It's called a pendulum. So a pendulum is usually a cord of some sort with some sort of piece at the bottom. Mine is all metal and crystal. A friend of mine gave this to me many moons ago. It's an amethyst. And at the time, I didn't realize this how long ago it was. I was very young. That this was the chakra beads. I just thought they were really pretty. And she thought the same thing. She actually has a rose quartz one, like this. But a pendulum can help give you some yes/no questions. I'm not going to go into how to use one. Yeah, I may actually do an extra channeling 101 at the end of October. And I might work with a pendulum, depending on time. It's one of the few that I would suggest using for channeling. Please stay away from the Ouija board. Not a tool I ever recommend. Because there is an association that humanity has put in on how we use it. Most people will go to a space and say, we're trying to call in whoever is there. Well, you're calling in something that isn't high vibrational and isn't there for your greater good. You're being curious and nosy as to who they are. And that's low vibration. So I always recommend that you work in the high vibration so that you're not trying to channel something that's going to cause you pain and heartache. So, plus you want protection because it's really easy to channel something that isn't there for your greater good because we can channel lower vibrational energy easier than high. It does not mean, though, guys, that you can't do it. It just means it's going to take some time. The King of Wands. Kings have the most fully developed personality. They have the most power. We have the wand. We're looking at that fire, that passion. Like I said, that your passions, your creativity, it's going to be important. Taking that time and really invigorating and fueling you, raising your vibration, so it's easier to connect into that high vibration. It's like I said, we have an easier ability to channel low vibration because it's easier to hear. That's why our ego is so much easier to hear than our intuitive self. So, trusting in your abilities, raising that vibration, and really enjoying this time, guys. Don't fear it. That fear, that anxiety, it's going to cause you to miss out. All right. What further supports can we share? Okay. We're getting excited with the cards. With my friends to help them out the most over the next month. I don't remember if I said this. No tools, whether it be decks of cards, pendulums, need to be gifted. There's a myth, and I know there's a big myth around, oh, you can't buy your very first tarot deck. Not sure where or how that started. Because how would your friends, families, or strangers know that's what you need right now? The majority of people are caught up in their own little bubble and have a tendency not to get you the deck that you really need or want. So, absolutely, can you go buy one? Go for it. Does it need to be crystal? No. Can it be crystal? Absolutely. There's hundreds and hundreds of them. So you can go connect in with what you need most. Forgiveness. Forgiveness is kind of a sticky thing for us. Many of us have animosity towards people who have harmed us or hurt us, or I'm thinking of like as we shut down, a lot of times that was due to someone who scared us, or something that scared us, or someone who threatened us. That forgiveness goes a long way, especially if you were shut down because your parents told you need to. They were doing the best they could with the information they had. That forgiveness helps to really raise your vibration. You don't have to like what they did. You don't have to understand what they did. However, you can release that connection to that fear, that pain, that heartache, maybe around that situation, releasing the control the situation and the person has over you. Like I said at the very beginning, this is about our healing. Forgiveness, huge part. Another huge part of forgiveness of self. What we did, what we didn't do, what we could have done, what we should have done. Those could-haves, those would-haves, those should-haves. Well, again, you're getting caught up in that loop of the past. You did the best you could, given the situation, your abilities, and where you were. Again, you don't have to like it. You can forgive yourself for what you perceive as something you could have or should have or would have done. Mm, right? Friendship. We have the Hermit right above these two cards. Forgiveness, a lot of inner work. Whether it's forgiving others, forgiving situations, events, forgiving ourselves. That's a lot of reflection. A lot of us, sorry, a lot of us work. I have some meditations to help out with it though. So I have forgiveness meditation that I've done in the Archangels, I think a couple of them. One with Archangel Zariel and Archangel Raguel. And well, I think the Archangel Raguel one is with balancing energies within us or beliefs within us. But again, we're looking at that forgiveness and really empowering us. You can sit down and go through and reflect on you and try and connect in and strengthen your relationship with you. Just be mindful not to get caught up in that pain or in the past. So, like I said, those could have, should have, would have can really misdirect us. And your ego will use that to its advantage as well. Truth and integrity. Part of what this change that we're looking at, that you have the ability to embrace, is embracing that authentic self, using our abilities in our own unique ways, adding that flair of creativity and individuality to what we do or how we do it will help us to get to the heart of the matter and really reinforce that relationship we have with ourselves. We need to start to have that friendship with us because many of us don't. We get caught up in that really defeatist attitude and can really beat ourselves up a lot. Let's shift that. Showing ourselves that courage and that love. Excuse me. Celebration. I love the fact we've got a new full moon coming up next week too. Next week? Yeah, I think so. I'm getting caught up in my days. The full moon is coming in the next week and a half. But celebration. Part of what we need to do is forgive. We also need to celebrate. Look how far you have come. Again, to that reflection. Look at what you've overcome, what you've achieved, that abundance, and celebrate it. Because we have survived this far. We're learning, we're growing, we're developing. Most of all, we're questioning and really pushing that box that our ego has put us in. Divine guidance very much sums up what the thinning of the veil is. You can gain that guidance we need to really help to get to the heart of the matter, start to really utilize our intuitive abilities and other abilities that we have crammed down and hidden within ourselves. We don't always have the answer, and nor should we. The high vibrational beings have a better perspective of where it is we are where it is we need to go. Think of it as walking in a forest. You really can't see too much in front of you. However, if you have a helicopter flying above you, giving you directions, you're going to get through faster. Same idea. We're walking through, can't see very far in front of us. High vibrational beings have a better perspective, can help you shift and navigate where it is you are right now and help you get to where it is you want to be. Okay. I wasn't sure I was going to use this deck, so I hadn't mentioned it, but I'm going to. So this is the Archangel Oracle by Diana Cooper. It was one of those things where it's like, do I need it? Do I not need it? Yes, I do. No, I don't. But yes, I do. So I'm going to pull a card off of there. Who's going to help my friends out the most over the next month? So you get a couple helpers. I never asked how, like, which, limiting it to one. I just said which one. I asked that they keep it on the table, but okie dokie. Always great entertaining TV as the person goes under their desk. You get a number of supports. So I'm going to really run out of space here real quick. All right. The ones that went under the table. One you probably have not heard of, Archangel Zariel. It says, give and receive love. Obey the spiritual law. So if you're ever using this deck and aren't too sure about like what colors to connect in with the Archangel, his is this kind of fun blue color, kind of a medium blue, I guess. I haven't worked with Archangel Zariel before. That doesn't, there's hundreds of thousands of them. We're just starting to connect in with them now. But it's working within the spiritual laws, and most importantly, receiving love. Someone that you could channel in October to try and work on your skills, because we are looking at an archangel here. This one I have worked with quite a bit. Archangel Haniel. She works a lot with the lunar energy. That's why the full moon is there. And here it says, seek soul satisfaction, fan a flame of inner happiness. Archangel Haniel is more than that, but she very much encompasses that. She wants people to grow and to succeed in the highest vibration possible. She's also working with humanity to help remember some of those past things that we've forgotten, especially when it comes to healing. She's working with different herbalists. She's working with different light workers to help reconnect in with things that we've lost along the way. So, fantastic, fantastic archangel. I will actually have a meditation that I'm almost done with her for November to help us remember stuff. And that's going to be really helpful for you guys because it's going to be at the beginning of November that I bring it out. I've got it kind of blocked off now. And she wanted the very beginning of November. So, and you have to remember, the thinning of the veil goes from the middle-ish of October through the middle-ish of November. It just doesn't end on Halloween. That's just the peak. Think of it as a curve. So you peak on Halloween and then it goes back down. Haven't worked with him, but very important. Archangel Durkin. I think I said that right. Durkin. Let me know if you know how to say that or if you work with them. Hone your psychic abilities. see through the illusion. Again, another amazing archangel to work with. Around my abilities, I worked with Archangel Raphael. If you worked with him or want to work on your psychic abilities, okay, gives you another individual or being to connect in with. And if you really want to shake up the party, call in both. They are not, they don't hold ego. So it's not like they're competing with each other. They would support each other in supporting you. So I know that I've worked with a combination of archangels and that there's never been that competition. They've got that balance. They've got the checks and balances in there. Oh, have worked with this. Archangel Mario. Trust your own wisdom. Have faith in your psychic impressions. Are we getting a theme? I think we are. So, Archangel Mario, and here it is kind of a gender-ish. Now, archangels themselves do not hold gender. Why? They are energy. They don't hold energy. We're the ones that are caught up on gender. So when you see them, right, like very Archangel Haniel, very feminine, and it's a very gentle, passive, yet effective energy that comes in. Archangel Mario, to me, is a masculine energy. To some, it may be feminine. You're right on both accounts. They will not get mad if you call them a he or a she, and they're not, because they're really not. They know that our language is so rudimentary, it does not even encompass half of what they are. But Archangel Mario actually works with us in our fifth dimensional chakra system, in our soul star chakra. I've worked with a lot with Archangel Mario, with connecting in with, drum roll, our astral family. I did a meditation earlier this year, late last year, where we worked together to connect in and channel, an astral family member and help you to reconnect in with the tool that's going to support you in the here and now. And if you've done that meditation, guess what? You can do it again. Whether you get it the same astral family member or a different one, that's going to be a individual piece. However, you can ask and put the intention that you'd like another tool. And you could also put the intention before you did the meditation. Could a different astral family member come join me today? Archangel Faith. Again, this is depicted as a very feminine energy. Their energies. With faith, you are invincible. Believe in yourself. It was the first card to come out. The last card on the table. Very poignant. I already said, and we've talked about how that lack of belief in self, minimizing self, beating ourselves up, causes us the most challenge. So, starting to really shift our thinking will shift us in ways that's going to help us out the most. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope that this gives you another perspective and gives you some insight into what the angels and archangels want to share with you. I will be back live on Friday to explore the first Mercury direct week. Yay! In October. I'm really excited about that. And then next week, you will on Tuesday have that Archangel Michael meditation. It's already all canned up, but I like to keep things kind of scheduled and give you guys that weekly, okay, my meditation's coming up. It helps because sometimes we miss notifications. So if you did like the video, thumbs up helps people find me. And those notifications do help you because, like today, sometimes I'm live Monday, sometimes Wednesday, Thursday. You never know when I'm going to be live. So subscribing and hitting that bell will help you stay up to date with where I'm at. Again, I want to thank you guys for joining me today. Until tomorrow, my friends.